we talk about like Chinese New Year. Also, our school have Chinese New Year celebration every year. So that is a big a part of our program. Also, we talk about the Great Wall of China, Forbidden City, and all kind of fun stuff. And of course, we'll have fun learning Chinese in my classroom. Thank you. For second and third grade, we also will learn pinyin, how to read pinyin, and also I start them with a simple conversation. From last few years, all my second, third grade able to ask, what is your name, and what's your nationality, how old are you, all these basic simple questions in Chinese. Students will start to practice writing Chinese characters. So I will print out the character they can trace or they can write their choice. Also, I will teach the culture as well. So we have a Chinese New Year. For older kids, we will have perform at our school Chinese New Year performance. We're dancing, we're singing, we will have lots of fun. And for the cooking class this year, I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do that. So I will let you know in the future if we can do the cooking class, but we did in last 3 years, we believe. So for fourth and fifth grade, we will start to learn pinyin. I started teaching pinyin a little bit last year, and this year my goal is the kids is able to read Chinese books with the pinyin on there. That is my goal for this year for older kids. Also, we will try to practice writing Chinese words, and we have lots of hands-on activity to support the kids to learn. Also, we are doing culture learning as well. Like older kids, we are doing like a research-based Chinese culture, and the kids will do posters. So we have lots of activities to support the language learning. And for cooking class, like second and third grade, I will let you know if we are able to do the cooking class this year. And this is my email address and my room number. If you guys have any questions, please send me an email. I will respond as soon as I can. Thank you so much.
All right, so here is my page. I actually have some videos for y'all. So if Steve could click on those links, or the first one. Hey guys, this is Mrs. D. Today I'm going to give you a tour of the kindergarten art carts. Okay guys, so on the top I have my tabletop easel so I can do demonstrations, write instructions. I have enough scissors for everybody in the class. Pencils and erasers will be handed out, but I will not collect them back. Stencils, these stencils are really easy to keep clean, and then individual packs of crayons. I have plenty of dot markers, so as soon as a student checks out a dot marker, it'll go in a Ziploc bag. And then I have dry erase boards, more dry erase markers in separate Ziploc bags, just so students will never share supplies. The last bucket is empty, so students can put supplies they've used in there to keep it clean. Anytime a student checks out supplies from the cart, it'll be put in a Ziploc bag, so it'll be used by that student only. I have these rubbing texture plates that are really fun. They're easy to keep clean, so the students will still be able to use those. And then, of course, some fun coloring books.
The fiber art card now?
Yes, sir. So the videos are real quick. We'll just go through them real fast.
Sure.
Hey guys, so here's a quick tour of the fiber art cart. I have different colored yarn ready to be pushed into the classroom. On the top of the cart, we have some extra looms and extra needles, and then of course scissors. Students will never share supplies. We will use yarn, ribbons, sticks, whatever we can find. Okay guys, so let's talk about the painting carts real quick. I have plenty of smocks, so if a student needs to protect their clothes, they can wear their own smock. They have their own palette for painting and their own water cup. Every student will have their own paintbrush, so they will not be sharing supplies. When their paintbrush is dirty, it'll go here for sanitation. We have rags, for cleaning and gloves to protect our hands. And the bottom is where we put supplies that need to be washed. Plenty of individual watercolor palettes, tempera cakes, and tempera paint palettes. Of course, we have the drying rack to put our finished artwork, and it's also on wheels. Okay, guys, let's talk about your art box. If you are a virtual learner and you'd like to pick up an art box to keep at home, let me know. At school, in our art box, we'll have our Ziploc bag with whatever materials we borrow from the cart. Our own individual art supplies will stay in here so we don't share. Any art supplies I decided to bring, I will put in here. But if I borrow anything from the cart, like this group of markers, I'm going to keep it in my art box as well. I always want to keep my paintbrush in here too. Our finished work or works that we need to finish will go in our art box too. So it will be our whole portfolio. It will hold all of our supplies. It'll hold work that we are working on. We can take our finished projects home or we can leave them in our art box. But the art box will stay at school. It will not go home. We're going to put what cohort we are, A or B, our grade, and our name on the front. On the back, we're going to put the teacher. Okay, so let's talk about one of my favorite carts, the STEM cart. When I push the STEM cart into your child's classroom, we will have these cardboard options for them to choose from for their project. If you want to donate cardboard, I ask that you just flatten it out, like cereal boxes or any other cardboard boxes. To avoid sharing glue bottles, we are all going to have a container of glue and a paintbrush. Each student will have their own paintbrush for glue so they are not sharing with other kids. So I have a class set of glue guns. They can be sanitized after every use so the students will not have to share. The glue sticks will be distributed by me so students will never touch them. And then I have the cutting mat for when we are cutting the cardboard. These are super awesome cardboard cutters. They're safe. Students will not be sharing these supplies as well. And then I have a roll of tape ready to go. Here is my main art cart. We have the tabletop easel on top for directions and instructions, demos, a drawer of mirrors, a drawer of scissors. I have 2 drawers of stencils, one filled with nature stencils and the other one filled with gears. I have a class set of rulers so we never have to share, and a class set of clipboards in case we go outside for art. I also have plenty of Ziploc bags, so when the students check out supplies, they can put it in the Ziploc bag. These next drawers are completely empty, so when students check out supplies when they're done, they can put it in these drawers, and I know it needs to be cleaned. The last drawer is my class pack of markers. I bought this class pack of markers, but the students could not share supplies, so I duct taped the lids together. And that is my cart.
So that was just a quick tour of the art cart. So even though art is going to look a little bit different, we're not going to be in the art room, I want your kids to know that art is still going to be a lot of fun, and it's still a reason to get excited and to come to school. If you are virtual or in person, the curriculum will try to follow along as closely as possible so that you're getting the same art standards, the Colorado art standards. What else? Fridays will be our check-in days with virtual learners. So all the specials teachers will check in on Zoom just to answer questions. I think we all have something different planned for Fridays. You pick up the art box. I will work on getting the art boxes ready. If you are an online learner and you want to pick up an art box, just shoot me an email and I will have it ready for you. I think we're doing another distribution of supplies on Friday. Yes, no, the art box is for everybody. It's for hybrid learners too, in person. The point of the art box is to keep students' materials contained. so that we can keep track of which students are using which material, so that before it goes from one student to the next, that material can be sanitized, it can be cleaned, and it can be disinfected. So the whole point of the art box is just to contain the students' artwork and give them their own little space where they don't have to worry about other people. My email is right there at the bottom if you want to write it down, and shoot me an email.
All right. Ms. Nichols.
All right, so I am Miss Nichols, and I am brand new to STEM this year, and I am so excited to be joining, even in this kind of crazy time for specials especially. So on my slide, I just wrote a little bit explaining my background in music. I am all about hands-on learning, which is a little tougher this year, especially with music and instruments. So I'm really going to try my best to integrate art and drawing in music expression and music history and a bit of theory. And so all instruments that we use will be the little like plastic rhythm sticks or little shaker eggs that can easily be sanitized at school, so we can use them for class, from class to class. And also that can be easily recreated at home with pencils or with any sort of like 2 sticks, just so you guys won't have to worry about your kids missing out on using instruments. And any other thing like keyboards or any other instruments that we use will be virtual, because there's a lot of amazing resources online where kids can use virtual instruments and explore that as well. So we're going to do a lot of like body percussion and activities such as that, just to try to keep the students safe and be as inclusive to online virtual learners, and try to balance so the learning is all the same and the kids can have the same enjoyable experience of getting to explore music and all the instruments and all that comes with that. So my email is also at the bottom as well. I'm just looking forward to getting to meet everyone, hopefully in person, and just start and explore this year together. So yeah.
All right. And then I am Coach B, or Steve, as you'll probably call me. This is my 5th year at STEM. In all 5 years, I've been the elementary PE teacher. And most years, my number one concern with PE is student safety, because PE is that class where accidents can happen. But this year especially, I want to make sure that our students are safe. And I know some of you might have questions of, what does PE look like when you're socially distanced? Well, start the year off, we'll be doing PE in the classrooms just like the other specials teachers. Also, I'm going to be minimizing any use of equipment, and we're going to actually be starting off our year with the health unit. I teach usually in the spring because it's a good way to teach kids without them doing a lot of close contact games that I would normally start the year off with. So we're going to start off our health unit. We're going to learn about the heart and our lungs and how they work, and with exercising and how that changes. In class, we'll be learning how those different systems in our body are working. And then virtually, they'll be trying different types of exercise and experiments to see how their bodies react to those different types of exercise as well. And on Fridays, I'll be doing fun games or fun different activities for the students, as well as check in with the other virtual kids. As the year goes on, and hopefully some restrictions are a little bit loosened, we can get back in the gym or start using more equipment. Some of the other things I plan on doing this year are a dance unit, a brand new broom ball unit, which is similar to hockey, but a little bit more elementary friendly, recess and field day games, Frisbee, and net games. And net games would be things like volleyball or badminton and things like that. If you have any concerns, like say your child, twisted their ankle or something over the weekend, please reach out to me and not the classroom teachers, because communication can be a little wonky sometimes. My email is stephenbroll@stemk12.org, and I will gladly try and help out and accommodate your kid any way they can. It's just much easier to hear it directly from you as opposed to hear it from a teacher that might not have the full story or something like that. Let me see if there's any questions. Sorry, the chat just opened. Okay.
Can you guys speak to the schedule or when you plan on seeing the kids or when the students are supposed to access some of that learning throughout the week?
So I know for PE, I will have all the things we're doing that entire week available from the very start of the week. So if you're cohort B, you'll have your exercises and experiments that you're going to be doing right from the beginning of the week. If you're the virtual learner, there will also be different, what I'm talking about in class that day will also be online. So they'll be able to follow along day by day with what we're doing in the classroom. So it'll look very similar.
So if they're not doing check-ins with you, which that expectation is not there throughout the week, they can, during their classroom specials time, they should be accessing your lessons during that time. So if they are a third grade student and they are just doing online and it is time for them to do PE, they would go online and in their classroom or on Canvas, and they would access their PE lesson for that day. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then on Fridays, that's when you would be checking in with your students.
Yeah, and I believe all the specials teachers are going to be doing those Friday check-ins in the afternoon. That way their classroom teachers can do their check-ins in the morning, and there won't be any students having to worry about talking to two teachers at once.
There's a question there asking if you will need to load a video for proof. Does anyone want to tackle that?
I will not be requiring video evidence. For instance, the heart lesson I'm going to do, they will be typing in, for the older kids, they'll actually be taking their heart rates, and I'll be teaching them how to do that, and they'll be putting in what their heart rate was for certain activities. That way they can help monitor. But I don't want them to have to record, especially if they're having a technology problem and they couldn't record it or it didn't work. I don't want that to be a barrier.
So the check-in would be then completing assessments or assignments that are provided. So submitting assignments. Is that the same for music, Chinese, and art?
So for art, I'm going to send out an email, and it's already on Canvas. If you're in grades 3 through 5, it's on Canvas. If you're K through 2, your teacher will help you connect to my Google Classroom. But basically, I'll have 5 art assignments, depending on how many days of school we have that week. If it's a short week, we'll have 4, but most of the time we'll have 5, and then they will pick their strongest one, and I'll require a picture of their strongest piece of art. So it's just one artwork per week, and not a video, but a picture. And there's instructions on how to send that to me for efficiency so that I can get feedback out to everybody. But the instructions for that are in the Google Classroom and on Canvas as well. So for art, you'll have 5 assignments every week, but I'm only requiring you to turn in 1 picture.
Okay, for Chinese, I will scan some like Chinese characters or conversations, and you guys can just trace or print out or trace it and scan them and upload them by Google Classroom or Canvas. It depends on which grade you are. If you're lower grade, we will use Google Classroom. If you're upper grade, we will use Canvas.
And for music, we'll be doing similar to PE. So during the week, you'll just have a few assignments. And then on Fridays during check-ins, it'll either be a short little assessment just to check on the learning that week, or if any worksheets or activities were due, then they'll be submitted and checked in then on Fridays.
I saw a question asking if we do attendance. We don't actually take attendance in class. Most of us take attendance in case there's a fire drill or something like that, but we don't actually log attendance for specials at this time.
It looks like we have tackled all of these questions. Oh, there was another one.
So we are still on the same rotating schedule as before. Kindergarten and first grade will do 1 week rotations. And then second through fifth will do 2 week rotations. Make sure, Yulia, that you're following along on Google Classroom or on Canvas. Google Classroom or Canvas. Depending on the special, the live lessons will change on Fridays. Go ahead, Steve.
To help with the virtual learners, the students that are just in virtual classes, I know when they have PE that week, I will let their classroom teachers know to make sure that they are on track, just like their hybrid learners would be as well. I will probably even send a message out to the kids that use Canvas. If you're in these if these are your classroom teachers, that you're in PE this week. For the Google Classroom kids, I'll probably just let their classroom teachers handle that, because they'll require them to connect to our Google Classroom and they'll need to know which one.
For art, the hybrid students, so when you're a hybrid student, let's say you come in-person learning Monday, Tuesday, on Wednesday, Thursday, you'll go to the same lesson that the virtual learners will go to. So when you are virtual, you are doing the same lesson, at least for art, that the other virtual learners are doing. And you're following as closely to what the students in person are doing that same day. So it doesn't matter which days you're virtual, which days you're in person, you're following along the group. So I don't want you to feel like if you're a virtual learner or a hybrid learner, you're going to be missing out on anything, at least in art. I'm going to try to make sure that across each platform, there's equality or equity, whatever. It's the same.
As always, and I don't know if you've had a chance to jump on the webinars with your students, classroom teachers yet, but this year is definitely about flexibility and communication. And we just ask that if you have concerns or questions or suggestions, that we provide feedback to those teachers and make sure that we have an open line of communication. We're definitely here for all of you during this time. It's a new learning curve for all of us, and we hope to partner with you throughout the entire year. So please let us know if there's something we can do to support you at home or when your students are in class during that hybrid learning time. I think we've just about hit all of the questions. This is recorded, so you'll be able to access this at a later time through our school website. And then we will also capture the questions on the chat, so our specialist teachers will have a chance to go back to make sure we answered all of them. And then if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to any one of us. We are here for all of you. So. Any other parting words from any of the specialist teachers?
Look forward to getting to teach again. So, yeah.
I think we're all excited to spend some time with your kids.
Online or in person.
Online and in person. We're ready to get connected.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful night, and we will be seeing you all soon.
Say bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.